Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, the man with the epic beard. That thing has powers. Let me start by saying that I thoroughly enjoyed this story. Before I started, I had a few friends tell me that they saw similarities between this and The Wheel of Time. I really didn't see that at all. The only thing I saw that was similar was the fact that both of the main characters were redheads. There is a Dark Lord in both stories, and they have followers. This one is the Chandrian, and Wheel of Time is the Forsaken. And there's a school that people go to learn their abilities. That's pretty much the only similarities that I saw between the two stories. I don't quite understand what they were getting at whenever they saw the similarities. But yes, I really enjoyed this story. There were points where I got so immersed that I didn't realize I was flipping pages until I was maybe 10 or 20 pages past the point to where I just passed. There were plenty of slow moments as well for me, but I was expecting those. It is a world, a fantasy world that I haven't explored yet. It is the first book in a series. I believe there's 3 in this. There's supposed to be 3 days, but it is a new world. You get all the world building, you get all the information, but I didn't feel like it was a info dumpy. I really didn't. You learn a lot of the world through following the main character. You get to learn it as he's learning it through mentors and his family and his own experiences as he lives it or lived it. This is the story of Quoth as told by himself. It gets really interesting when it's Quoth telling about himself, listening to someone else telling a story within a story within a story. While I was reading this story, I could not help but picture the Quoth that is telling the story, the innkeeper Quoth, as an old man for some reason. The entire story, I just pictured him as an old man, even though it says he looks no older than mid to late 20s. It says he appears young, but there's something about the way he's telling the story or something like that, the way he acts, that it just reminds me of old man. Even though things do get a little better for our main character, Quoth, I have never really read about a character that experiences that much tragedy and it just keeps on getting piled on. He is a very unlucky person. It just follows him around like a shadow. Some of the things that happen to him are kind of his fault. He agitates people that have more rank than him and more social power, and it just ends up being very bad for him. But other times it just seems like the universe looks down and says, hey, look at that kid with the red hair, screw him in particular. It's crazy. It seemed like every single time he received any form of wealth, whether it be knowledge or money, something bad would happen. Oh, look, you're finally allowed to get into this library that you've been wanting to get into for years. Nope. Get the hell out. Let the door hit your ass on the way. Every time he received a decent sum of money and said something along the lines of, oh, I'm not going to have to worry about admissions next term, or something along the lines of, I'll have somewhere to stay for sure next term because of this money, I immediately started trying to figure out what was going to go wrong. Something that kept throwing me off while I was reading this story was the terms at the university. It just felt like they were going by really, really quickly, so I looked it up to see exactly how long the terms were. It said it in the book, but I don't think I caught it. But the site that I went on said it's 2 months per term, and their calendar has like 8 months in it, so there's 4 terms per year. But 2 months, and that kind of put his situation in perspective for me. He came from being homeless with absolutely nothing, and he's trying to go to a school each term that requires him to have a ridiculous amount of money. One talent in this world is a lot of money to a regular person, and he has to come up with 3 or 4 times that every 2 months to continue going to this school. I was actually literally laughing through parts of this book, and it happened, I think, almost every single time when Eladin was on the page. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm horrible with names, but I'm going with Eladin. My favorite characters, as some of you know by now, are the funny and witty, the really quirky sort of characters, and he fits this perfectly. Eladin actually became my favorite character in the story fairly quickly. We don't get to hear as much as I would like from that character. I wish there was a lot more, but here's a little quote that Quoth is trying to look for him. He's not actually in this, but this is the first little bit of information we get from him. I got it on my computer, so I gotta actually put these on to read it. Eladin proved a difficult man to find. He had an office in Hollows, but never seemed to use it. When I visited ledgers and lists, I discovered he only taught one class, unlikely maths. However, this was less than helpful in tracking him down, as according to the ledger, the time of the class was now, and the location was everywhere. I love the hat. He pretty much from then on, he became my favorite character in this book. I really do hope he is in the second book a lot more than he is in this first one. He is my favorite character so far. I actually feel that all the characters that are in this story feel like they could be real. You actually get to know them as you're reading this book really, really well. It is fantastic writing. I loved it. It just flowed. I can't wait to get into the second book in this series. And this is one of the first reviews I have done. This is the first review that's actually going up because I lost the first one. But I have no idea if it's good or bad. I really don't know how to review books just yet. So hopefully it was okay. As always, you guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon with a new video.